I think I'm gonna give this about 5 minutes, maybe, before I go live. A few things I want to talk about today is just Eric Trump saying that Donald Trump beat COVID with a vaccine. Um, and then Trump saying he took a therapeutic in the debate. And there's one other topic I wanted to touch on, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but oh yeah, I know what I want to talk about now. So I'll just go ahead and go into the video. I thought it was going to take about 5 minutes, but people join, they join. Sorry about me just doing these random live streams. Um, I'll try to schedule it like 5 minutes, 15 minutes from when I plan on doing it. Anyway, I got this counter because I was just kind of curious about comparing the world, how many people die from hunger each year, and so far, this year, 7,321,947 people have died from hunger, from starvation, right? Um, and let's see here. I'll show you how many people died of corona. Because this is one. In fact, I probably should start with this point because this point is probably the best point I'm gonna make this whole video. So, where is it? Sorry, I thought I had it all lined up and things got moved on me, I'm guessing. Okay, so now we see, I said 7,321,000 people died of starvation and hunger this year. Globally, 1,141,000 people died of corona this year. And some of those cases, let's not forget, some of those most of those cases, in fact, like 94% of those cases had comorbidities. So, and I don't know how many of them, were like starving to death and they wound up getting COVID because their immune systems were so low and they were like, oh, they died of corona because they had corona in their system, even though they haven't eaten in a month. But yet, it's like, hey, they died of COVID. So who knows, like, how much that's taken away from that, how much COVID and all these deaths that are counted as COVID deaths are taken away from the hunger deaths. But the main point is 1 million deaths compared to of COVID deaths compared to 7 million starvation deaths. Okay. And a lot of like half the deaths of children under 5 years old are the result of starvation. Okay, I want you to like keep that in mind. It's like half of the deaths of children under 5 are from starvation. And now another thing I want you to see is, let me bring this screen up. Now this is from like the beginning of this year. I think it's like March 27th. This happened on, March 27th. So oh, I gotta do something real. Hold on, I gotta redo this. I didn't click the audio button. I'm not gonna try not to make that mistake again. That's it. This program's all right, but the one bad thing about it is they got this little share audio button, and it's way at the bottom of the screen, and you never see it, and you only get one chance to click it. So, okay, so this is from March 27th, 2020. Um, um,
Now, I'm going to sign this, and it's a great honor. $6.2 trillion. I've never signed anything with a T on it. I don't know if I can handle this one, Mitch. We can't chicken out at this point, can we? I don't think so, huh? All right, thank you all.
okay, see, my point about that is he said $6 trillion. He's never signed something that big before. And this is when he's signing for that CARE Act on March 27th, right? So $6 trillion. And just to, I'll just share one more thing just to make sure this is verified in people's skulls and they don't try to twist it some other way. Um, but anyway, $6 trillion coronavirus relief bill. Okay, so my point of it is if I was in a presidential debate with this guy, I think I would destroy him a lot easier than Biden could destroy him. Because every time they ask me a question like, well, what do you plan on doing about, the military? I would just say he signed a $6 trillion. He just spent $6 trillion on the flu. I would say that to every question they asked me while I was running. So are you pro-life? I would just say he spent $6 trillion on flu. Like honestly, if I was running for president and I told you and I spent $6 trillion, I was going to spend $6 trillion on flu, you'd probably say, "Hey, I think that's treason. Are you stupid? Are you an idiot?" Now, and this goes back to my original point about that world hunger. Okay, we just spent $6 trillion on flu. We could have just made people work. This didn't save anybody's life. I don't think this saved one life, to be honest. In fact, I think what it did was it contributed to killing them because part of that $6 trillion bill was you put a bounty on everybody's head. Like, hey, use a ventilator. Yeah, sure, you're gonna probably kill them with it. But go use that ventilator on them, and we'll give you $40,000 for using a ventilator on them. If you lie and say people died of corona, we'll give you 13,000 or 12,000, something like that. Can't remember the figure off the top of my head, but we'll give you, $12,000 for every time you lie about someone even having corona, or even if you don't lie, or say they died of corona, and even if you didn't test them, we'll give you $12,000, right? I mean, this is stupid. This is a dumb way to waste money. So he didn't save lives either. I think he probably killed a few extra people by having doctors rush him on a ventilator when they didn't need to be on one. They should have been on CPAP machines at the very worst. Then now I'm going to go into another point, which is what and like the U.S. isn't the only country being retarded. You got all these other countries in the world spending trillions of dollars on this corona. I mean, there's at least probably, I bet you maybe 10 to 20 trillion dollars has been spent on corona this year by all these countries. Could you imagine what you could do with trillions of dollars to these poor developing nations that are with these people that are dying of starvation? What could we have done even in America with our own people to better their lives with $6 trillion instead of misspending it on some stupid coronavirus relief bill? But see, here's the thing. Let's say you would have spent $6 trillion, you probably would have saved at least 7 million lives. Because some people, you might say more than 7 million lives. because a lot of these people, man, they're not getting the proper nutrition, and they're dying of not having certain vitamins in their system. It's like I showed this video the other day where Dr. Mobeen, he showed a study where and this is a guy that's he's pro-vaccination and all that, and he showed a video where they were treating coronavirus patients, and there's 26 of them that didn't get no vitamin D. There's 50 of them that did, that got extra vitamin D. I think the 26 didn't get any extra vitamin D supplements, and then 50 of them got extra vitamin D, and they showed that they had just a couple of ICUs. Just a couple of people had to go to the ICU units, and there were 0 deaths. Whereas half the people who didn't get the extra vitamin D, there was 50% of them got put in the ICU, and then 2 of them died. So, basically, like about 10% of them died. I'm just doing this math all the time. Sorry if I'm wrong about the figure. I think that's close to being right. But anyway, so it's like, and you got to think, we didn't even have any health departments that I know of in America. Because I kind of get to listen to radio in a few different states, and I do not recall hearing anybody say anything on the radio about, hey, make sure you're taking extra vitamin D this year. That would have been a nice public service announcement. They know about this. This is something many doctors have known for several years. You can take up to, I think it's like 300,000 IUs of vitamin D before it starts to hurt you. But look that up, folks, before you do it, please. Don't, because I'm just whipping these numbers off the top of my head. I think that's right, but please look that up, and verify it before you start taking that much vitamin D. In fact, anything I say on here, look it up and verify it, for the sake of your life, But the thing about this whole thing that's bothering me is it's also when Trump got this. I'm gonna play this one clip because this is real curious to me, and I'll just help me make another point I need to make. So I want to show this one where, okay, this is where Eric Trump is saying that his dad beat. Sorry, I have to reshare this. This program is bad. But that's the only bad thing about the program. Keep forgetting to hit that audio button because it's in such an odd place. So, okay, let me just play this.
It's pretty mind-blowing to me.
I mean, we have covered the protests, and I do see a lot of protesters wearing masks as well. Let me ask you on your father's condition. When he spoke to Rush Limbaugh, he suggested there was a time where he thought he might not make it. How bad did it get?
Yeah. Well, listen, that first day he got hit hard. That first day, Friday, and I can tell you as a son, it's never fun watching your father fly off to Walter Reed on Marine One, right? I mean, that's something that that's a day that no son wants to, again, remember. It's that's so fun to watch. But I'm telling you, I spoke to him 3 times that next Saturday. The guy sounded 100%. It was amazing. It actually probably goes to speak to how good some of these vaccines that are being created are, and what my father's done on the vaccine front. No one could have done. No one could have.
These vaccines being created.
Done. I mean, literally, Biden was calling my father xenophobic for shutting down America from travel to China. I mean, and the virus came from China. My father literally started day one creating this vaccine. He worked to push this vaccine, and now my father just took it. And you see how well he got over it.
He just said that his dad took a vaccine to get over COVID-19.
Wait, can you?
I think it's an inspiration. I think as Americans, John, we should be very proud of that.
Can you clarify that? You said your father just took a vaccine?
Meaning when he was in Walter Reed, the medicines that he was taking, and
the therapeutic.
He felt horrible. And on Saturday, again, I spoke to the man 3 times on Saturday, and he sounded tremendous. And I think it goes to show the power of medicine and in this country, and how far that that we've come on COVID in the last 6-7 months.
So it looks like
make no mistake.
Okay, so I want to play that, and then I want to play what his dad actually said in last night's presidential debate. Because to me, I'm pretty sure I talked to one of the doctors that are pretty hip on that kind of medicine, and he said that it was a cocktail, and like I didn't even know Eric Trump said such a thing, because I always heard it was a cocktail, especially from this one doctor, and Dr. Mobeen said it too. So he said it was a cocktail. So and anyway, I'll just play this other video so you can hear it right from Trump's mouth. Oops. Real sorry, it's taking me this extra second, man. At least I'm hitting the audio button this time. So I'll just play this.
We have a vaccine that's coming. It's ready. It's going to be announced within weeks, and it's going to be delivered. We have Operation Warp Speed, which is the military is going to distribute the vaccine. I can tell you from personal experience that I was in the hospital. I had it, and I got better. And I will tell you that I had something that they gave me, a therapeutic, I guess they would call it. Some people could say it was a cure. But I was in for a short period of time, and I got better very fast, or I wouldn't be here tonight. And now they say I'm immune. Whether it's 4 months or a lifetime, nobody's been able to say that, but I'm immune. More and more people are getting better. We have.
But anyway, my main point of playing that was that he said it's a therapeutic. I also want people to hear that he's going to have the military give out that vaccine, which I've always hated from the beginning. I hated seeing the military, but the talk of them even giving out COVID tests, and because I was like, wow, I'm not liking the look of this militarization of all this, and then I actually got ran off of a talk radio show because I called up saying I didn't like the how Trump was militarizing all this, and they were like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about, get out of here. And I'm like, okay, and they just hung up the phone without me replying. But you keep hearing these comments from Trump, and they bother a lot of people. They bother even people that are going to vote for him. They're like, well, I don't like that he said that, but I'm still going to vote for him, which I don't get. But anyway, sorry, back to my point. My point is, Trump took a therapeutic. He seemed to be doing just fine after a few days. Now, Eric said that he was doing real bad, right? And then it's like just a couple days later, his dad's doing great. Whatever this therapeutic is, why aren't we using that and giving this out to people instead of waiting on this vaccine? Why do you have to make it a vaccine? Look how good this old man's doing. I mean, man, he is like full of energy, going around, doing all of his presidential stuff that he's got to do with a lot of energy, and that looks better than a vaccine. Why aren't we using that? Why are we settling for a vaccine? And I did not look into this, but someone said it was what he used was from a company called Regeneron or something like that, who specializes in like making medicine that's trying to make you be more youthful and revitalize you or something. But I haven't looked into that yet. But someone commented to me on that, so I'm like, okay. But I just think it's really weird that you're pumping all this money recklessly into basically the flu. $6 trillion. You're wrecking you're wrecking businesses. um, you're actually wrecking the world, really. Because by going along with it and doing it like this and being like the so-called leader of the world, the country that's looked at as the leader of the world, right? And we're doing it this way. This looks really bad. Um, oh, hey, Meteor Bear. Yeah, it is gross, man. Um, uh, yeah, I'm just I don't know how long you've been listening to this cast, but I just kind of been going on like how I don't like the Trumps misspent all this money. The whole world's misspent all this money because I showed something about the world hunger, this meter, and it's like 7 million people have died from starvation. We spent in the U.S. alone just 6 trillion on COVID. Could you imagine if we would have spent 6 trillion to try to fight world hunger? We'd save 7 million lives. So there's like you minus 1,000 COVID deaths. But then if you actually gave those people nutrition, that a lot of those COVID deaths probably wouldn't be COVID deaths because they'd have proper nutrition. Um, and then I even think a lot of Americans don't have good nutrition because a lot of people, go, oh, should I buy this vitamin? Should I buy these herbs off the shelf? Oh, I don't think I can afford it. I'd rather have my kid get something he wants or needs. So I'm going to do without and get this. So, I mean, I think this is like a lot of these COVID deaths in America are probably even because of people not having proper nutrition in America. They're like, trying to like get by and things like that. But if you just would have spent $6 trillion to fight hunger and to give people better nutrition and other types of programs and just left everything open, I think you'd save a lot more lives. And it's just real sad that, I mean, it's a miserable way to die of starvation. So, but I think that's all I really have to say. I don't have a lot more to add, or at least I'm not prepared to add a lot more. Because I don't think there's a ton more going on. Well, there's a lot more going on. I just wasn't prepared to cover it. I'll just put it that way. Oh, I will say though, I had a friend that did a video. I'm gonna try to pull that up just real quick. Now, I mean, this guy, he's a Trump supporter. He makes, but he kind of, it's kind of odd to me because he knows a lot of the same things I know. He made this video about the Eustache and how cruel they are. So he knows about he knows about who's behind the deep state. So I'm always kind of curious that he still sees and he does see the bad. Admits to the bad Trump's doing, but he came up with one interesting thing. I'm going to share that on. Okay, I am sharing that screen, making sure it was being shared. So I'll play this one part.
Fox News, the reference to the big guy in the much publicized May 13, 2017 emails. In fact, a reference to Joe Biden. The other JB reference in that email and magnificently brilliant answers to her questions.
Oh, no, this isn't it. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. I thought that was his video from today, which I guess he didn't upload, or it's not showing up on his uploading. Oh, man. I know it's here. Let me find it. I pulled up some other way, I guess. This one right here.
Soviet Union weaponized smallpox during the Cold War, others in Iraq. The vaccine is effective, but only before symptoms manifest.
Okay, basically, he made this video today talking about this dark winter simulation that went on in 2001 that all these people participated in, just like they did for the Event 201, where you had all these people participating in this pandemic simulation. So they had one like that in 2001. And I did not know vaccination ceased in the U.S. in 1972, and that's when they quit vaccinating
and then it says
people
vaccination
for
ceased in the U.S. in 1972. and vaccination immunity acquired before that time is undoubtedly waned, and the entire population is therefore susceptible. Well, they're basically saying that we're susceptible to this coronavirus. So there's the similarities there. These are some of the pictures of what the smallpox would do to a human being, 10 times worse than, what this coronavirus is doing. And yet they didn't have massive lockdowns during this smallpox when there was smallpox breakouts and so on. The United States has effectively, it says, only 12 million doses of the vaccine. Must be given no later than 3 to 5 days after the exposure. Metropolitan population in attack areas exceed national vaccine stocks. New emergency production. NSC must choose a vaccine strategy, and so on.
So I just wanted to just show that if someone wants to watch it, this is all the way up to the 25-minute mark, and I guess he goes on about the subject maybe up to the 30-minute mark. But anyway, I just want to bring that to people's attention because I had no idea they quit vaccinating for smallpox, and it's supposed to be wiped out in the entire world, and that's why they quit doing it. I know I got a smallpox vaccine, I think, in 1974, so I don't think they 100% stopped doing it, but I think for the most part they must have stopped doing it. Anyway, what I'm thinking is, if they're crazy enough to shut the whole world down, would they be crazy enough to unleash a smallpox virus on the population? Because I know Bill Gates keeps, making that comment about, the next time they'll listen, and, when that second wave comes, they'll listen this time or something like that, or I can't remember that whole quote, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. Or I think most people would. But anyway, I always wonder, is it going to be the corona, or is it going to be, will they release smallpox? So, and I mean that, and I always, and even if that's not what Gates was talking about, just to, for people to keep this in mind, that they might be doing this, or they could do something like this, because this can wipe out. This doesn't wipe out 99 point. Well, I mean, hold on a second. This doesn't kill just 1 out of every 1,000 people like Corona does. This kills 30% of everybody who gets it. And I mean, and if it doesn't kill you, you gotta have some bad symptoms. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there because I had no idea about that whole smallpox. I to be honest, I never even looked into smallpox that much. So I didn't even know it was that bad. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, I see. I didn't even know what coronavirus was until this whole thing happened, and when I looked into it, I was like, oh, this is what it is. It's like the flu. It's like a cold. And so so I wasn't scared by the time March went on. And like I said, it kind of it tripped me out to be so scared from December until maybe mid-February, and then be like, oh, it's just a cold. And then it's and then I'm watching them shut it down and everyone panicked. And that was just weird. Yeah, see, I think these things have always been around. I don't think they're nothing new. Well, I mean, me being a Christian, I don't believe in evolution, so I believe everything's always existed. Everything's always been here. Like the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. So I don't think most of the stuff's, you should get freaked out and think, oh, something just evolved and the world's gonna fall, or the sky's falling or whatever. So, but, well, I really don't know what else to say. this is kind of how like a live podcast goes, man. When you don't like, got to either be prepared or with things to talk about. I think it's awesome you showed up. You're like the 2020 Artist of the Year, so you're one of the best ever, to be honest. Your video work, man. I was like really thinking about that today, man. That's like some hard stuff to do, and and you must spend at least a decent amount of money making that, or at least it looks like it. Unless you're finding some deals, I'm just like, you got a lot of props and everything like that. Like it's just awesome, man. Um, um, but yeah, man, you're definitely one of the best artists I ever knew. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I really don't know what else to say. I was figuring you had to do video or something. Cause I was like, this is just really good work. It was like, I'm like, this is like, as good as anything you're gonna see on MTV or anything. And they're a lot more interesting than most of those garbage producers. So, all right, man. Well, hey, man, I'll catch you later, man, and I hope you have a good night. And later, folks.